Hey, I'm a Neurosurgeon Kazu.
Look closely at this scene. A sleek, high-end luxury vehicle pulling into the parking lot of a discount grocery store. The driver steps out, grabs a cart, and meticulously loads up on the cheapest essentials available, even 30-cent bags of bean sprouts. When we see this, we usually make a quick assumption. We expect wealth to dictate high-end spending across every category of life. So we figure this person is either faking their wealth or they stretch themselves so thin buying the car that they're struggling to afford food. But this behavior may have nothing to do with being cheap. The person counting pennies on produce might be operating with a highly efficient brain. In contrast, the average spender who tries to maintain a mid-tier lifestyle across the board often ends up overtaxing their neurological health. This shift in perspective is key. We shouldn't look at how humans budget their money. We need to look at how they budget their cognitive energy. This energy is centered in the frontal lobe, the region of the brain responsible for complex decision-making and weighing the relative costs of our choices. Willpower functions like a finite biological battery, draining every time your brain makes a choice. Constantly debating mid-tier purchases depletes it rapidly. But by automating choices to extreme highs and lows, the brain bypasses comparison fatigue. The battery stays charged. These extreme spending habits function as a biological defense mechanism designed to prevent decision fatigue. These specific extremes are chosen because the brain demands a high neurochemical return on its energy investment. Driving a luxury vehicle provides a significant dopamine hit. Dopamine is the chemical associated with reward and achievement, and the experience of a high-end car triggers these centers consistently. Compare that to grocery shopping. For most people, buying routine daily essentials triggers almost no dopamine response. It's a low-reward activity. An optimized brain minimizes the cognitive and financial resources it spends on areas where there is no neurochemical reward. This dynamic highlights a split between two internal networks, the network for social evaluation and the network for self-interest. The luxury car satisfies the brain's need for social status. As shown here, the social node reaches capacity. With the ego completely satisfied, the self-interest node operates independently at the discount store, focusing entirely on cost efficiency. The brain can focus on survival and financial efficiency because the ego is no longer interfering with the decision-making process. Ultimately, this behavior represents a successful treaty between the brain's desire for status and its fundamental survival instincts. Now consider the stress buyer. This person lacks a cognitive budget and constantly drains their willpower out an endless stream of mid-level impulsive purchases. Constant, unoptimized decision-making leads to frontal lobe exhaustion. When this happens, the brain's ability to regulate emotions weakens, leaving the person stuck in a cycle of impulsive spending. This chronic exhaustion keeps the body in a state of stress, which wears down the autonomic nervous system. Over time, this persistent strain can lead to high blood pressure and weight gain, eventually increasing the risk of damage to the brain's own blood vessels. Persistent mindless spending is a medical indicator that the brain has lost its ability to regulate itself. To fix this, you need metacognition, the ability to step back and observe your own desires. This is how you build a frontal lobe barrier against impulse. There is a physical requirement to this. You need at least 7 hours of quality sleep. Sleep is the only way to recharge the frontal lobe's biological battery. You also need a behavioral rule: force a pause before any purchase. Simply asking if an item is necessary engages the prefrontal cortex and stops an emotional reaction from taking over. Finally, select exactly one true reward for your dopamine hit. By channeling your desires into one meaningful area, you remove the urge for unnecessary mid-tier spending. True luxury is not the ability to buy everything. It is the cognitive mastery to fund what truly brings you joy, while conserving your mental energy for everything else.